So first off, the most important part of this is the Hellcat supercharger. This supercharger cost me nothing. I had a friend that was actually about to sell this supercharger, and then he asked me, do you want this? Because he knew that I had the 5.7 and he knew I was trying to build it, supercharge it, and I was actually in the market for a Hellcat supercharger. He actually came in clutch with this thing. But if you were actually in the market for a Hellcat supercharger, you could actually get one on Marketplace for fairly cheap compared to all the other supercharger options. This thing on Marketplace right now will run you about $2,000, and that's not bad. And that's one that's basically fully assembled with a bypass valve, fuel rails, cooling manifold, all map sensors, stuff like that, bolts. I would shell in a little bit of extra money and get the gasket kit, because that's what I did. And that gasket kit will run you about $350, brand new from High Horse Performance. Also, if you want to put out a little bit more money and get supercharger bolts and stuff like that, do a full tear down on the supercharger and get you a bolt kit, and that'll cost you about $250 brand new from High Horse Performance. So the Eagle cylinder heads, I actually got these cylinder heads for $300, and you could get these cylinder heads for about the same price. And if you want to get them ported, that's going to be about an extra $1,000. You go on Marketplace right now and find good deals on this. I've seen them ranging for about $300, $500, $700 for ones that's already been machined and stuff like that to be brand new. But I actually got mine for $300. Probably one of the most expensive parts of this is actually getting the supercharger adapter kit for the 5.7 Hemi. So altogether, that supercharger adapter kit would be about $2,570 altogether. And that kit comes with mainly everything that you see right here. It comes with the pulleys, the adapter, the supercharger bracket right here. It comes with a whole bunch of stuff. It comes with the cooling aspect, stuff like that. The only thing you're going to have to get manufactured are your lines. I'm going with AM fittings, and that's going to cost me about $200 to $250 just to do the AM fittings for the lines. I actually did a 160-degree thermostat in here. I haven't actually installed it yet, but I actually bought it. And that thing is going to run you about $47 brand new from High Horse Performance. Next, I actually got a magnetic drain bolt, just so if any metal is in this engine, it could actually be circulated through and picked up by that magnetic drain bolt. That's something that I just wanted to have. It's probably not needed and it's probably just useless, but I actually just want to have it just to say I have it, just in case there is metal that thing could pick up in the future. So next is the Snow Performance methanol injection kit. So this kit right here with the pump, the reservoir, braided lines, stuff like that, it's going to cost you about $480 brand new. So I actually did go with ARP hardware, ARP head studs, right? Just so I won't lift the head under boost. So this whole hardware kit that I got from MMX, it actually cost me $400 brand new. And I actually think ARP head studs is a must when you're building a boosted application. It helps you prevent a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, lifting heads on a boosted application is not very unheard of, especially on an application that's going to be running about, this one is going to be running about 18 to 20 pounds of boost, and it's going to be high compression. I don't want any failure to happen on these heads at all. So something that I am going to get a little bit down the road is a Mishimoto radiator. And those, when you buy them brand new, those actually cost about $730. And if you guys don't remember, I actually bent mine, so I no longer want to use that stock radiator, especially because it's stock and also because it's bent. And I want to keep the cooling temps just very, very cool, especially when I'm driving around in this thing. So some things that need to be upgraded is your torque converter, your transmission, your drive shaft, and your rear end. So torque converter, the one that I'm going to go with is a Paramount Performance 4400 stall converter. The reason why I'm going to go with such a high stall converter is because the cam I put in it. It's a very, very, very aggressive cam, and drivability would be a huge issue with the stock converter on it. I'm telling you, and mark my words, stock converters with aggressive cams is a no-go. You ever seen those videos of people hopping around in traffic and they're cammed? It's because they have a trash stall converter. And that Paramount Performance stall converter is going to run me about $880 brand new on High Horse Performance. So next is the valve body. What a valve body does in essence is just increases line pressure going through the transmission, which means it can hold a lot more power than it would with the stock valve body. So the one that I'm going to get is from Paramount Performance again, and that one is a beast of a valve body. It's going to run me about $850. It's going to help me with shift pressure, line pressure, and it's going to be able to hold about 900 wheel horsepower. That's just insane with the stock NAG1 transmission. Also, something else to help me with line pressure and good shifts, stuff like that, are the Mercedes blue top solenoids. Those things are fire, I'm telling you. Shift pressure, all that goes up. The E55 AMGs also have those in their NAG1 transmission. If you guys didn't know, the NAG1 transmission is a 722.6 transmission. That transmission was used in a whole bunch of applications, and those Mercedes blue top solenoids are going to run me about $500 brand new on high horse performance. If you guys didn't realize, there's a trend. I'm getting basically all my parts from High Horse Performance and MMX. If you guys don't follow those websites on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that, if you guys don't shop for your Hemi parts over there, you guys are wrong. I'm gonna put the links for both of them in the description down below. So next is a Hellcat rear subframe. So I want to do the full Hellcat rear end conversion, not only because it can handle more power, but because of the amount of options they have for differentials, axles, stuff like that, suspension, rear end conversions. It's just everything is just better on the Hellcat platform compared to just the regular LX Charger 5.7 platform. I also have to mount my 15x10 bead locks, and to do that I need a 15-inch conversion. I'm going to get that on High Horse Performance, and that's going to run me about $1,300. But the actual Hellcat rear subframe, you get those on eBay, you get them on Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that, and a fully assembled one is going to run you about $1,000 to $2,000 depending on who you're buying it from and the quality of it. Just make sure you don't get scammed and buy a 392 or 5.7 rear end. So if you want to swap out your rear differential on your Hellcat rear subframe, like I'm going to do, I'm going to go with a 370 gear ratio in the back. That's going to run me about $1,000 to $1,700 depending on where I get. You get them from eBay, you can get them from Facebook Marketplace used, you can get them off the High Horse Performance website. And let me tell you, once this thing has a 4400 stall converter, the transmission and a rear drive shaft and the rear subframe with the suspension, and it has 370 gears, this thing is going to launch like no other, and road races are just going to be in my favor every time. Especially because I'm going to be in the power band so much more with a 4400 stall converter. And you cannot forget your drive shaft. You need a good drive shaft, so that's what I'm going to do. The drive shaft that I'm going to get is a carbon fiber drive shaft, and it costs $1,700 on High Horse Performance website. It is actually made by the Drive Shaft Shop, and you guys all know the Drive Shaft Shop. They make drive shafts for everything, and they're tested, tried and true drive shafts. Also, you're going to need you a pair of long tube headers when you're putting this supercharger on here. They just flow a lot more air. These are 1 7/8 long tube headers right here. They're JBA. They're stainless steel headers. I got them from High Horse Performance for $1,200 brand new. You also need to get you a good set of valve covers, one that's vented, all right, because of crank pressure, because you're adding boost. So get you a good set of valve covers. I'll recommend the Hellcat valve covers. They're cheaper than most, even though they are kind of expensive. They're gonna run you about $1,100 brand new from High Horse Performance. There are a couple things that I missed out in this video and I left out on purpose. Some of them are belts, spark plugs, different little accessories, stuff like that. You're going to need fueling components, but all that stuff is going to be based on your build and your preferences, right? I'm going to leave that stuff out, especially because I don't know which versions of those I'm going to get. I know I want to get a small pulley just so I could run a good amount of boost on this thing. I'm looking to run about 18 to 20 pounds of boost. So I'm going to have to pick a pulley that's going to be good for my needs. I also need to get an ATI damper, right? Harmonic balancer, just so I could run a 10 rib setup. I could get a very small pulley, run 18 to 19 pounds of boost like I just said, and it'll be a good day. But that is a small little rundown of how much it cost me to build this engine. It's cost me a lot. It cost me a lot, I'm telling you right now. And so far, with all the mods that I told you just now and the rest of the stuff that I'm still buying and stuff that I left out, This build so far has cost me about 10 to 12 grand so far. That's including the stuff that I haven't bought yet, right? That's actually insane. But then again, this is a Hemi, and that's sort of on a budget. Like I said in the beginning, I did not pay for this supercharger at all. This thing was free and given to me. Some of the stuff on this list, right, you cannot get it for the price that I got. Sometimes these heads are a little bit more expensive, right? And depending on what you want to do, you don't have to do 5.7 eagle heads. You could do 6.1 heads. You could do regular pre-eagle heads. Just port them. You could even just run a regular BGE block and put Hellcat heads, stuff like that. There's so many different things you could do. Because if you guys didn't know, you could also put these superchargers on 6.1s. You could put them on 6.4s and stuff like that. So this really depends on your application, right? I'm just giving you guys a list of stuff that you're probably going to need and you should think of when building something like this. So I hope you guys like this video. It's your boy Hemi Boys TV. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All the links are going to be down in the description. Hope you beautiful people have a beautiful day. I'll talk to y'all later.